Welcome to the Apex Morning Overview. This morning we're expecting our crude oil inventory at 10:30. The announcement will be API report yesterday was to expect higher than expected inventories, I believe. And I see that there's been a huge spike in the currencies, starting with the dollar. So that's clearly coming off of the 8:30 CPI news, which is about half what the expectation was. The Apex website has an excellent tab on news, and there is a news trading plan there. But the all of the pertinent news is also listed on there every single day, and it's a great place to check for even the night before, but first thing in the morning, for absolutely before you put on any trades, you need to know what news is coming out, because boy, the people that trade the dollar or gold or any of the currencies this morning had a pretty good you need to be on the right side of that, and even it would run stops if you were on the wrong side. It was terrible. So be very aware of what news events are coming and what the rank in importance is. That's also listed on the Apex website. The other place is Forex calendar is a great place, and if you click on just today's day, then you don't have to wade through a whole week and whatever. The VIX has been holding pretty even for the last 3 or 4 or 5 sessions. It did put in kind of a short-term double top at about 16.5, but it's backed off of that quite a bit now. It's below 14, so we'll see what happens to the VIX. The U.S. indices are just barely moving. They're in a real tight, choppy range. So hopefully for all you index traders, in about an hour when that market opens in the pit, it is trading Globex. So if you trade it early, that's why a lot of people get up real early in the morning and trade the NASDAQ or something early, because it trades around the clock around the world. But anyway, zeroing in on crude oil, we are rolled to the October contract today, and that's the reason for that is now considered the active futures contract. So NADEX rolls a couple days ahead of the futures as a rule. And I hope everybody's charts are all up. I think Nurse Ratchet was up most of the night. Again, they believe they've got this resolved. Overnight, crude oil barely moved. When you see these range channels that are all jammed up like this is, I mean, the paint is so thick and it's taking so long to dry, but finally started moving a little bit. This E is, if you're trying to learn the classic Apex, this E is not a valid change on the direction of the trend from what we had, because we've got this is still a green E with a red MVP. We have another green E with a red MVP. These are tradable. Certainly they're tradable, but if you're trying to learn the classic Apex system, recognize the difference between the Apex E's, the entry E's that have a matching MVP. So as this cooks along here, we'll see what happens. the first thing you want to notice is that the market is below settlement. Settlement is, I have to get my pointer so you can see. Settlement is this cyan line, and lo and behold, the green ice line is right at the same level. So if on your chart it doesn't, I mean, it might be a tick off, but this is a significant level. For this market to turn around and go northbound, it's going to have to clear this. The high of the day is just above it, and it will take some significant volume to blast through there. A lot of selling pressure is right here. This is where the selling volume has been. So if it does start a trend and go down, this would be the, remember, but the significance of these ice lines is that 80% of the volume on the previous session happened in this range, between these two ice lines. That's significant, because the volume is, the bus driver goes where the passengers are, and that's where the passengers were yesterday, all in this area here. So right now there doesn't seem to be a clear entry, and that may change. This looks like it didn't catch up. We'll see. See, this is pointing to the downward side. This might be an entry off of this, but I would be inclined to wait. Sometimes, especially this time of year, crude oil will sit here and sort of do nothing until the inventory comes out at 10:30, and then we'll see. It likely will take a direction. I would be very careful about taking any entries before 10:30, before that comes out, and certainly do not have a crude oil trade on right at 10:30, because unless you're enormously lucky, you're likely to get run over by the bus. Okay, so that's my view from my world in Apex land, and I'll see you at noon. We'll go over what the trading possibilities were. So I'll see you then. Thanks.